Florence to Nice. Put those two cities into the sat-nav and you'd be offered a 5-hour drive, not counting service station stops on the A11 and the A8. Handy if you're in a hurry, but on balance, I think the 3-week detour we've just taken has been worth it. From rehab to the Renaissance, recovering crash victims Jonas Vingegaard, Remco Evenepoel and Primož Roglic arrived in Florence to test themselves against someone who'd set his own challenge. Tadej Pogacar was looking to become the first man for a quarter of a century to do the Giro d'Italia Tour de France double. Mark Cavendish was in a race of his own, looking for stage win 35 at the age of 39. Of course, getting it would make him immortal and thus render age irrelevant, although you wouldn't have risked saying that to him on day one.
This is a dangerous, dangerous moment for Mark Cavendish.
The race opened with a couple of French stage wins, as if anxious to assert its identity on foreign roads. But the first sprint echoed across continents to Eritrea.
William Gramay coming from nowhere on the right. Gramay on the front. Is Gramay going to take a win at the Tour de France? Yes, he is. The history maker from Eritrea. The rider who's the first ever black African to win at the Giro d'Italia has come to France and done it again.
Since the A11 wasn't an option, the race returned to France via the reverse Hannibal route. Pogacar had given the yellow jersey away the day before for a bit of peace and quiet, but the Alps tempted him to take it back.
Here he goes again now, Pogacar. Vingegaard, the head just drops a little and a gap for the first time opens up. He's just turned the screw and Pogacar wins his 12th stage win at the Tour de France.
Looking good after 4 days, yeah, but it's only 4 days.
If Tour Sprint number 1 was significant because it had never happened before, Sprint number 2 was because we'd seen it more often than any other outcome in race history.
Cavendish switches to the left-hand side, crash behind him, but Cavendish, it's done! It's done! The story is finally complete!
Maybe your life changes if you cross that line first, maybe it doesn't if you don't. That's the nature of this race and that's what makes it so beautiful.
Remco Evenepoel had started his debut tour as the self-declared junior member of the Big Four. Not in time trials though. The world champion blitzed stage 7 to realise his first objective, a stage win. He was also second overall. There was so much advanced talk about the gravel on stage 9 that it sort of obscured the gradient. The combination of the two produced perhaps the best stage racing of the tour.
This racing has been absolutely relentless.
Seems a madness that he'd go from here, but it is Tadej Pogacar.
The white jersey attacking the yellow jersey.
What are this breakaway going to think when they see this? It's like, you've got to be kidding me.
At the end of it, astonishingly, there was absolutely no change among the top 3. And increasingly it was a 3. Primož Roglic was falling back and about to fall further. Oddly, for a man leading his great rival by a minute 15, Pogacar somehow seemed to be losing to Vingegaard psychologically.
Last year I took 7.5 minutes in two stages, so yeah, the power is there and we just have to believe in our plan.
There was a feeling he needed to bank more time as insurance against a bad day in the heat and height of the Pyrenees. In the Massif Central he went after it and Vingegaard went after him.
Here he goes, Tadej Pogacar, 600 metres from the top of the Puy-Marie.
Vingegaard knows he has to close that gap now.
Vingegaard running Pogacar close and still battling on. It's close between these two. Oh!
Vingegaard!
Take a snapshot of that, hang it on a wall, and it'll be there forever.
Yeah, I would never have been able to do this without my family.
It was a really beautiful day out there and yeah, let's continue the tour like this.
Primož Roglic was soon unable to continue at all. He crashed on stage 11, chasing the front 2. Then again, more heavily the next day. His record now reads 6 tours started, 3 finished. William Gramay, meanwhile, had turned a breakthrough into a display of dominance. 3 stage wins and a commanding green jersey lead.
Gramay makes it win number 3, the green jersey. William Gramay, the African superstar, strikes for the 3rd time of asking at the Tour.
Vinny, the fastest sprinter in the biggest race in the world is Eritrean. How does that sound?
Like, woo!
Onto the Pyrenees and a pair of summit finishes to end week 2. On the first, Pogacar attacked.
I'm back, and how did you ever doubt me?
On the second, Vingegaard attacked. Pogacar counter-attacked.
Pogacar counters Vingegaard, looks round and checks, and now he's on home turf.
He was just better. That's just how it is, and yeah, congrats.
Richard Carapaz's week 1 cameo as the first Ecuadorian in the yellow jersey had been overshadowed by Biniam Girmay's win on the same day. On day 1 in the Alps, the GC race paused long enough to give the breakaway a chance, and he took it. The following day, it was finally and unexpectedly Victor Campenaert's turn. Tour veteran, new father, tireless worker for others, stage winner.
Winning a stage in the Tour de France is everybody's dream.
With time running out, Visma targeted the Tour's highest point, sending 2 riders up ahead on the Col de la Bonnette to be there to help when Jonas Vingegaard made his Tour-saving attack. It never came. At least Matteo Jorgensen, out front alone, had the consolation of a stage win.
And he accelerates, he goes by him, doesn't even give him a chance.
Yeah, point made.
I did it for 2.5 weeks, and now the fight is for the win is over, but for the second and third place is not over.
Remco Evenepoel sniffed weakness in Vingegaard's concession and tried to crack him on the final Alp of the race. It didn't work, except to set up another win for a man who was on the verge of needing 2 hands to count them.
And he takes 5 wins and counting.
If you told me this before the tour, I would not believe it. And yeah, it's just out of this world, actually.
The final tears of this year's tour, at least so far, were Mark Cavendish's, as he was nursed home inside the last mountain time cut he'll ever have to worry about. Today in the time trial, he'll have the road to himself to say goodbye, secure in the knowledge that his 35 stage wins will never be beaten, except perhaps by the man who sets off last.